You wake to headlines and the hush of hurried voices, but there's a different pulse inside you now, a quiet that isn't denial, but discernment. As the world clutches at immediate fixes and echoes panic, you feel God doing something strategic within you. He is not merely sheltering you from the storm. He is lifting you so the crisis cannot write the story of your finances. You begin to see with a clarity that outlasts noise, a vantage point that reveals openings where others only find walls. This positioning is gentle and deliberate. It starts in your mind, a separating of thoughts, a recalibration of timing and posture before it shows up in bank accounts or opportunity. You find yourself thinking differently, refusing scarcity's script, choosing steady faith over frantic reactions. Trials may still come, the wind may still howl, but you are learning to stand on higher ground, to watch with a calm expectancy as God rearranges circumstances on your behalf. Opportunities surface in surprising ways when the crowd loses grip. A conversation in an unexpected place, a door you hadn't considered, a providence that feels both surprising and ordained. Peace settles around your decisions, and that peace becomes wisdom. You begin to make choices not from fear, but from alignment with a better timing, a divine cadence that steadies your steps. Provision follows not because of perfect planning alone, but because heaven has positioned you to receive what fits your new posture. Hold this truth: the crisis will not define you. You are being positioned, mentally, spiritually, and soon, financially, to advance through, not merely endure. Breathe in this season of quiet discernment. Let your thoughts be refined, your timing adjusted, your posture shifted toward hope. What part of your thinking needs to be separated so God can reposition you? Share a short reflection in the comments below. Your insight may encourage someone else. Stay with this thread. The next video will guide you deeper into how God reveals the doors you're called to walk through. You feel it before the world understands it. A quiet rearrangement inside you that doesn't rush or panic. While headlines shout and people move in frantic circles, you begin to breathe with a different rhythm. This is not denial, it is discernment. God is not merely placing a shield around you. He is lifting your perspective so the crisis cannot become the measure of your future. From up here, you see possibilities that others mistake for walls. Think of your mind as being prepared first. He is adjusting your timing, tuning your choices, and aligning your posture so you will recognize the doors that open when fear would have you close them. You will notice thoughts clearing, priorities adjusting, and a steadying conviction that guides small decisions, the ones that compound into meaningful change. Trials may still come, but they will not dictate your direction. Instead of reacting, you begin to respond with strategic calm. Provision comes on a different timetable than panic. You will experience opportunities that seem surprising, yet feel ordained. A conversation that shifts the course of a project, an unexpected lead, a resource appearing at just the right season. These are not accidents. They are evidence of a higher hand positioning you above the storm. Peace becomes your compass, not because the turmoil has vanished, but because your vision has shifted. You no longer absorb the scarcity narrative. You choose the posture of abundance that God is cultivating in you. Move slowly through your choices. Listen closely. Ask for clarity before you commit, and trust the quiet confirmations that align with wisdom, not impulse. This is a season of being mentally separated, so you will later be financially steward. The crisis will pass, but the positioning will remain. Curious how this repositioning might look in your own life? Share one way this message touches your heart right now. Leave a thoughtful comment below reflecting on what God might be separating in you. Stay with me for the next video, where we'll explore practical steps to steward the opportunities you're being given. You can feel it, a quiet rising inside you that refuses to match the panic on the news. It's not denial, it's discernment, a shifting of your mind that begins before any bank statement changes, before doors seem to close or alarms ring. God is doing something different with you. He is not merely protecting you. He is positioning you above the crisis so the moment will not define your financial story. This positioning looks like a mental separation first. You begin to think in terms of seasons, not moments. Where others echo scarcity, you learn to name provision. Where crowds scramble to react, you practice a steady posture, breathing, praying, counting what remains rather than what's lost. That posture doesn't erase trials. You will still meet hard days, but it grants you a strategic vision, the ability to see a hinge where others see a wall, to spot a door opening in plain sight, because you've been taught to look up and forward. Opportunities tend to surface when control unravels for everyone else. When fear shakes the majority, your peace becomes a kind of currency. It clears your mind to make wiser decisions, to follow timing that feels both courageous and calm. Provision arrives in surprising ways. A conversation that turns into a contract, a small pivot that shifts income streams, a timely connection that seems ordained. These are not random coincidences. They are the fruit of being positioned above the storm. Do not absorb the fear. Do not echo the scarcity. Hold the posture of someone who watches, discerns, and then acts with wisdom because heaven has placed you there. You are not under the crisis. You are above it, observing, deciding, advancing. Curiosity. What small shift in your thinking could open a door you've been missing? Reflect in the comments one area where you need clarity or courage right now. In the next video, we'll explore practical steps God gives you to move from positioning to provision, slow, steady, and sure. You notice it first as a quiet straighten in your shoulders, a kind of breath that settles deeper than the headlines. While others scramble and mimic the panic around them, you begin to think differently, not from stubborn denial, but from a slow, God-breathed discernment. He is separating you mentally before he separates you financially. That separation looks like clarity amid static. You hear the noise, but you do not absorb it. You see the fear, but you do not repeat it. This posture changes how you use time and money. Where haste would have forced a sale or a shortcut, you hold back with patient wisdom. Where scarcity speaks aloud, urgent language, you reply with quiet trust and prudent decisions. Opportunities arrive in the spaces others vacate. Doors that open when crowds run the other way. Connections that surface because your mind is steady enough to receive what heaven is bringing. Provision shows up sometimes in small, surprising ways, sometimes in sudden shifts that feel ordained, and often through people or timing you would have missed if you had panicked. Positioning above the storm does not mean trouble never touches you. It means you can stand in the middle of turbulence and see a path that others cannot see. It means choosing faith-shaped actions over fear-shaped reactions. It means unhurried wisdom about investments, relationships, and the next step, trusting that God is repositioning your life so the crisis won't define your financial story. So resist the urge to echo scarcity. Refuse to be carried by the crowd's anxiety. Keep a posture of prayerful observation, decisive action, and steady advance. Your worth is not the measure of your bank account. Your sustenance is not your merit, but the positioning heaven has arranged for you. The crisis will pass. The positioning will remain. If this stirs something in you, pause and leave a reflective comment. What clarity is God giving you today? Be curious. In the next video, we'll explore practical steps to steward that positioning and let it become the foundation of your next season. You begin to notice a quiet shift inside you, a stillness that is not denial but discernment, as if heaven itself lowered a lens to sharpen what matters. While headlines scream and people frantically move from fear to fear, you feel a clarity settling over your mind, a patient recalibration of how you see provision and timing. God isn't simply wrapping you in protection. He is repositioning you above the crisis so that the turmoil does not become the measure of your financial life. From that higher vantage, you start to see patterns others miss, doors where they see walls, timing where they see only delay, opportunity where they see loss. This is not a promise of painless days. Trials may still come, but they arrive differently now, filtered through a posture of wisdom rather than panic. Before anything shifts in your bank account, God is separating you mentally, tuning your thoughts to recognize stewardship over scarcity, faith over fear, strategy over reaction. Your decisions become less reflex and more response. Your posture becomes less crouch and more poised. In this place, you do not chase every headline. You listen for the quiet instruction that points you toward faithful, courageous steps. Provision shows up in surprising, ordained ways. An unexpected connection, a timely idea, a withheld expense that becomes a blessing later. And with each small proof, your calm becomes stronger, not because you earned it, but because heaven has positioned you to receive it. You are learning to hold a vantage point where anxiety cannot set the agenda, where your choices are governed by wisdom and not by what the crowd believes. Does this picture stir something in you? A hope, a question, a memory of peace amid chaos? Share one small confirmation you felt lately in the comments, a moment when God began to reposition you. Keep that quiet posture and come with me to the next video, where we will explore the practical steps God gives for walking confidently from being above the storm into sustained provision. You can feel it like a quiet lift beneath your feet, not escape, but elevation. While headlines shout and neighbors sprint, God is guiding you into a vantage point, above the storm, where your view is clearer and your choices are not driven by panic. This elevation is not a promise of trouble-free days. It is a promise of perspective. Even as winds blow, you hold a posture that sees openings where others only see walls. God is working first in your mind. He is separating you mentally before He separates you financially. That separation looks like a shift in timing, a recalibration of decisions, a gentling of your posture. Where others rush to cut losses or hoard out of fear, you feel an unexpected calm that lets you wait, listen, and act with discernment. Doors begin to surface in unlikely places. An ally reaching out, a contract renegotiated, income streams rerouted into provision that feels both surprising and ordained. This positioning is strategic. From above the crisis, you can recognize patterns, spot opportunities, and refuse to absorb the ambient anxiety. You do not echo scarcity because you have been taught a different vocabulary: patience, clarity, holy audacity. Peace becomes the engine of wise choices. Instead of reacting, you respond. Instead of shrinking, you expand in the assignments God has for you in this season. Remember, provision in this posture is not primarily about your merit. It is about God moving on your behalf, arranging timing, opening doors, and sustaining you through seasons others call impossible. The crisis will pass. The positioning will remain. Your finances will not be defined by the panic, but by the posture you kept while everyone else floundered. Are you curious which area of your thinking God might be adjusting right now? Take a moment and leave a short reflection below. What shifted in your mindset this week? Stay with this thread. In the next video, we will uncover the first practical step to steward this positioning into tangible provision. You feel a hush settle over your thoughts, not the numbness of denial, but the clear, sharpened silence of discernment. While headlines race and neighbors scramble, something in you loosens its grip on urgent fear and straightens into a steadier posture. God is doing more than shielding you. He is lifting you to a vantage point above the chaos, so the moment will not define the course of your finances. From that place, you begin to see differently. Opportunities that looked like walls now register as doors, and risk gives way to a map drawn with intentional timing. This separation begins in your mind long before a statement or account shows new numbers. You are being retrained to think in rhythms of provision, not panic, to pause before reacting, to ask questions before conceding to scarcity. Your decisions slow down, your prayers deepen, your ears tune to wisdom instead of noise. In that pause, God adjusts your timing, aligns your next step, and lets unexpected provision find its way to you in ways that feel both surprising and ordained. You will still face tests. Storms will still sound. Uncertainty will still knock. But you are learning to observe rather than absorb, to choose clarity over echoing the fear around you. This posture creates space for wise moves, a conversation you might have avoided, a disciplined step you can take now, a relational bridge that opens a door later. Provision arrives through small, faithful acts as much as through sudden windfalls. Heaven's positioning rewrites your financial story not by your merit, but by divine strategy. Curious how this mental separation first appears in everyday life? Take a moment. In one reflective sentence, share what's shifting inside you right now. Your comment could be the first step in recognizing a new posture. In the next video, we'll unpack tangible signs that you are being repositioned and the practical steps to steward that place above the storm. You stand above the noise. Headlines crash like waves below, and yet there is a quiet in you that is not numbness but clarity. It is a calm shaped by discernment, a stillness that sees beyond the immediate collapse and recognizes a greater pattern at work. God is not merely sheltering you from the storm. He is moving you into a vantage point where the storm cannot determine your course. This repositioning begins in your mind. Before the accounts are restored, before the offers come, God separates your thinking. He loosens the grip of panic and tightens the room for faith. You begin to think in seasons, not in headlines. You learn to filter urgency through eternal rhythm. Where others repeat scarcity, you rehearse provision. Where fear tightens, your soul widens. That mental separation changes how you decide. Calmer, wiser, strategic. From that higher ground you see doors where others only see walls. Opportunities reveal themselves in quiet places. Conversations, small pivots, a delayed decision that becomes providential. You will make choices that look improbable from the valley. Provision will arrive in ways that feel both surprising and ordained. A timely connection, a redirected income, an unexpected gift that lines up with need. Each sign is less about your merit and more about divine positioning. This posture does not erase trials. You will still walk through pressure, but you will walk with a different map, one drawn by a steady hand above the chaos. Peace becomes the lens through which you act, and because your posture is steady, your steps are wise. Do not absorb the panic around you. Do not echo scarcity. Hold the elevated view. Trust that heaven has adjusted your timing and is aligning your path. The crisis will pass. The positioning will remain. Are you sensing this rising calm in yourself? Share one small way you're choosing clarity over panic today. Stay with that question, and in the next video, we'll explore how God begins that mental separation step by deliberate step. You stand quiet above the noise, not because you ignore the storm, but because you have been taught to see with a different eye. Where headlines shout collapse, you notice patterns, a margin opening here, a new door there, a soft rearranging of events that makes room for you. This is not magic. This is God positioning you, mentally first, spiritually steady, then financially set apart. Your calm is not denial, it is discernment. Breathe, and let that quiet shape your choices. When fear clamors for hasty moves, you choose clarity. When scarcity demands you echo its voice, you refuse and speak faith. Trials may still come, but they will not define your ledger or your heart. You are learning to look from above, to observe with wisdom, to decide with patience, to advance with intention. From that vantage, walls reveal seams, and obstacles begin to look like invitations. Pay attention to timing. God is adjusting more than your bank balance. He is adjusting your timing of release, of arrival, of breakthrough. Provision will often come in ways that feel both surprising and ordained. You will find doors opening precisely when others are closing theirs. This season will pass. The positioning will remain. What you are forming now, a posture of peace and prudent faith, will carry you through future storms. Allow yourself to be sustained by something greater than your effort. Rest in the truth that heaven is arranging circumstances on your behalf. Steward the clarity you have been given. Make decisions from that place. Walk forward knowing you are being placed above the crisis, not to escape struggle, but to transform it into your next step. Curious how this positioning will unfold in your daily life? Share one sentence below about the new posture you're choosing. A thought, a prayer, a resolve. Your comment can anchor the promise in your heart and encourage someone else. Then, when you're ready, go to the next video for a practical word that will help you steward this season with wisdom.